This this doesn't look right. Let's see here. Okay, I guess I got it fixed. So I apologize, everybody, if I just seem a little frustrated with this. It seems like now every time I try to, well, so you know, my Throwback Thursday videos, they are pre-recorded, but I do them as a live in private mode. And then then once I get it all done and I get it all put together, then I schedule it to post. And so I have found that the easiest way, the quickest way for me to accomplish that is to do it in the live mode, but unlisted. And before I was doing individual video clips, putting it together, uploading it, and it was just very, very, very time consuming. So I found that this was the fastest way. Now, YouTube used to work very well in the very beginning. I can schedule videos, the orientation would be perfect, and I was good to go. But for the past good number of months, I've had nothing but issues with YouTube. I am not the only one that's had issues with them. It seems like a lot of other demonstrators are having the same issue as far as their orientation and everything goes. So again, in the very beginning, if I sound a little frustrated, is because that this is actually the third time of me starting to do this video with the orientation and everything looking right. So again, I apologize if you kind of heard the little huffing that I did in the very beginning, because it really is frustrating. Okay, so let's get into what it is that we're going to be doing in this episode of Throwback Thursday. So I will be using, let's get the lights out of the way so they're not glaring on the stamp cases. So this is, well, it's the Crane of Fortune stamp set and Good Fortune set of dies. Um, It is actually a suite. So the suite name is Symbols of Fortune. And in addition to the stamp set and the set of dies, there is also two different types of designer series paper. So one of them is the Symbols of Fortune 12 by 12 specialty designer series paper. This has basic black calypso coral, crumb cake, evening evergreen, smoky slate, and soft succulent colors in it. There's also some basic white in there as well. Now this pack looks really thick. There's actually more than one pack of paper in this package here. And then I also have some 6x6 sample pieces as well. In addition to that designer series paper, there's this specialty paper. This is called Mother of Pearl 12 by 12 specialty paper. And it'll probably be a little hard to see it in here, but of course there's that glare. But you can kind of see there's all these like little shiny speckles. Is that the way I want to kind of describe it? That's in this paper. So it is glaring off of the light, so I apologize for that. In addition to this, as far as embellishments go, there are the polished dots. I believe that this is, there's clear and this could be petal pink. The names of the colors aren't on the packaging, so I'm guessing because Calypso Coral, which is one of the colors in the paper, this is that's a lot lighter than that, so I'm thinking that this may be petal pink in here. There is one other embellishment to this suite. It's soft succulent satin ribbon. I unfortunately do not have that ribbon, um, but this is the color of soft succulent, and I'm going to be using this instead for one of the cards that I am going to be making for you. So let me bring my lights back in. I'm going to move this out of the way. Now, I am going to mention that ahead of time I did a lot of stuff just to make it go a little bit faster. So a lot of things have actually been pre-stamped and pre-die cut um, ahead of time. Now, this is a cling stamp set, and cling stamp sets are the red rubber. And I don't have the stickers on the back of my stamps, so to make it easier when I was doing my cutting and die cutting, I went ahead and I stamped my greetings ahead of time. Also in this card, the crane image, I had stamped that, so I had die cut that ahead of time. So for this card, let me let you know what sizes and what I got here. So for my card base, this is Crumb Cake, measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of that designer series paper. This measures 5.25 by 4. Out of a scrap piece of white, I had stamped the crane using the Smoky Slate ink, and then I die cut it with the coordinating die. And then also in the set of dies, there are these detailed leaves, and I had die cut those out of a scrap of soft succulent. And then this piece here, this is Crumb Cake. This measures 3.25 by 3/4 of an inch. This is Crumb Cake, and I had stamped the greeting, wishing a lifetime of happiness and a world full of love. I stamped that using the jet black Stays On ink. Now the Stays On ink, it is a little bit different than Memento Tuxedo black ink. This is a solvent ink, so this is the type of ink that you would not want to use with your alcohol markers, because this ink will smear when you use them. The solvent ink, this is a little bit bolder. It's a really opaque type black, whereas the Memento, it's black, but it's not as dark, and I wanted this to really show up. Now, for stamping this greeting, other than using the Stays On, I could have also used a black Stampin' Right marker to do that. Since this stamp set is red rubber, it is a little bit easier to get the Stays On ink off of the stamp as opposed to when you use a photopolymer. So I took care of that in advance. Then out of that designer series paper, I cut 3 pieces here using this Calypso coral pattern. So this piece is 2 5/8 by 1 inch. And then this piece is 2 5/8 by 1 1/4 inch. And then this is 2 5/8 by 1.5 inch. So I'm going to start off, let me move all of this out of the way. I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Now, I didn't do any of the housekeeping stuff that I typically do at the beginning of a video, again, just to kind of spare some time and the length of this video. I will be going live tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and usually at the very beginning of my video, I do that housekeeping stuff to let you know all the stuff that is going on. So I just want to put that out there. Also later on, well, you'll be seeing this, this particular video is going to be scheduled, and it's posted for 5 a.m. Central Standard Time on Thursday, so everybody can see it. Later on that day, early evening, I will be doing another video, and that will be featuring my January paper pumpkin kit. I did get that in the mail last night, so there'll be another video coming later on today, Thursday. So I just wanted to put that out there. Okay, so for my designer series paper, I'm going to glue this to my card base. Now, in this design, other than, having your sky and your clouds, there are a couple of cranes that are scattered on this piece of paper. So this one most likely will be covered up with some of the other designer series paper, but this one here will show in the corner, but that's okay. The sample card that I saw it was cut to where you didn't see any of the birds in the background, but well, we're gonna use this, even though there's one showing. That's okay. I'm going to add some liquid glue. This is the Tombow multi-purpose glue that we sell in our annual catalog. I just like to put it in a fine tip glue bottle, which I got off of Amazon. And the link for that is in the description of this video. Excuse me. Okay. Let me fix this because I can see that my card base isn't exactly folded evenly. Okay. Then I am going to I'm actually going to use my seal for this part in the event that I have to move my pieces of designer series paper. So I'm going to add some seal to the back of these strips. Okay. Then I'm going to take these and I'm going to add them over here to the right, and I'm leaving a little bit of a gap there to the edge of that background designer series paper. So this is the 1 inch, and then this is the 1 1/4 inch. So I'm going to move that over, and I'm just leaving a little gap between these layers here. So I'll make sure it's straight. It doesn't look very straight. Okay, and then this larger piece, which I believe was 1 1/2, is going to go down here on the bottom. Like so. Make sure that's even. Okay, so then we're going to press these down. And then I'm going to take my crane and I'm going to add some dimensionals on the back of this. And then I'm going to add some on the bottom, well, on the back of my greeting here. And then even on these two die cut pieces out of the soft succulent, I am going to add a couple of dimensionals on the back. So that's the larger ones. And then we have these mini ones. And I find that I have an easier time placing these using my take your pick tool. So I'm going to add a few onto this one. And then we'll add one more. Oops, right there. On the back of that leaf. And then on our crane, we'll add one on his head. And then one down here on his legs. Okay. So I'm going to take the backings off on this crane. Okay, and then I'm going to add this. Kind of make sure that I'm in the picture here. So I'm going to add him right about here. Like so. And then this, I'm not going to take the backings off quite yet. I'm just going to place it where I want it. And then I'm going to place these leaf images down back behind it before I adhere that. Okay, so this one is going to go back over here. And then this one is going to go back over here. No. Okay, so those are placed, and now I will remove the backings off of my greeting strip. And I will add that right down here. Actually, I want it up a little bit higher. Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do this one here. I have to come over a little bit more. I was going to take my greeting and have it come all the way to the edge there of the designer series paper, but with this leaf right here, it's a little hard to do that because being that there's a dimensional on the back here. If I put that on top of that, which already has a dimensional, this isn't gonna lay flat. Okay, so then I'm going to use some embellishments here. So I'm going to use these polished dots, and I'm going to go with the clear colored ones. So I am going to take some of these larger ones. Now these are like translucent, so you can kind of see through them. So it's going to pick up the coloring and the design of the paper right behind it. And then we're going to take one of these smaller ones and we'll add that right down here. So there is our first card. So let me grab the stuff for my second card. And again, a lot of stuff I did ahead of time. Now this one, I focused a lot on the designer series paper. So for this one, My card base is Evening Evergreen, measuring 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4.25. I have a piece of the Designer Series paper. This measures 4.25 by 3.5. Out of the Designer Series paper, there are these flower images, and there is a die in the set right here, this die right here. It will die cut not only the stamped image of these flowers, but then it'll also die cut these flowers out of the Designer Series paper. So I like when they have the dies that will do that. So out of one of the sheets, I had die cut 2 of these double flower images. Then there is a detailed die, and I'm guessing that these are ginkgo leaves, I think. And you can see the die here, so it just die cuts a detailed um, die piece. And so I had die cut this out of that mother of pearl design specialty paper. And then out of Smoky Slate, I had stamped Much Luck and Good Fortune. I stamped that using Evening Evergreen ink. And then I used the die from the Stylish Shapes dies to die cut that. Now the Stylish Shapes dies are still available. We have them in our current annual catalog. So I did that ahead of time. So now let's put our card together. So again, I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere my Designer Series paper onto this. Now the inspiration for this card, it's actually in the catalog that this suite was in. It was in the January to June 2022 mini catalog. We had, at the time, we had ombre colored treat bags that were in the colors. Evening Evergreen was one of those colors, and Soft Succulent was also another color at that time. And I believe it was Polished Pink, um, Pale Papaya, and there was one more color in there. What was that other color? Uh, Fresh Freesia. And Fresh Freesia is one of those colors that, as these in colors were going out, those colors were the Fresh Freesia color actually became part of the core color collection. So that really didn't retire. And of course, Fresh Freesia is still available. Okay, then I'm going to take these 2 floral images, and I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of these. Okay, and then I'm going to take the backings off. Yeah, so this card was inspired. It was a sample that was in that catalog for this suite. And these images, they had placed them on one of the treat bags. It was an ombre treat bag. It was in the Evening Evergreen color, so it was darker on the bottom, and then it got lighter towards the top. I'm pretty sure I got those treat bags around here somewhere, but I thought in regards to this being a card that I was doing cards that I would make a card using that layout. So I'm going to add this floral image here, and then this one right down here, like so. We'll press those down. And then on this detailed ginkgo leaf, I am going to, let's see, will one of the larger ones fit on here? No, that's too big. I'm going to bring in my small ones. And I'm going to add a large one right back here. And then, let's see, we're going to take one, we'll place it down on this one. And then, let's see, maybe a little one on here. And then this one, this is like really, really small, so I'm not going to worry about putting one on there. Let's remove the paper backings. And then I'm going to bring in my liquid glue. I'm going to add just a little bit, like on these here in the middle. And then I'm going to place this kind of like at an angle, like so. That. And then I am going to add some dimensionals on the back of this greeting here. So let's see. Add one there. Okay. Then I'm going to bring in some of this ribbon. This is the soft succulent open weave ribbon. Now again, in this suite there was soft succulent satin ribbon that I think was like an inch wide, I think, and I don't have that, so I pulled out this ribbon. I had this ribbon. This ribbon came in all of those in colors, so I figured let me use this instead since I had it. So on this edge, I did cut it at an angle, and then I'm going to cut it at an angle on this other end here. Like so. Get that all out of the way. And then I'm going to bring in my glue dots. Okay, and then add some on the back of this. I'm going to add 3 of them. I'll add one more in the middle. Okay, I'll kind of get some of this stuff out of the way. And then I'm going to place this right over the middle, so I'm going to try and get it straight here. Like so. Just press that down. And then let's add our greeting piece right over the top of that. Right over the center. Like so. Okay, and then we're going to add some of these embellishments. So I'm going to use these ones here. that are the petal pink color. So I'll add a larger one up near the top, and then I'll take two smaller ones and add them down here. Okay, so there is the second card. I just basically looked at all the colors that were in the pack of the designer series paper, and I just kind of threw them all together. And again, I did case these cards out of the that January to June 2022 mini catalog. So here's the first card that we did. Again, I had pre-stamped my crane in Smoky Slate ink. Excuse me. And die cut it ahead of time. And then added the detailed dies for these leaves. I die cut them out of scrap piece of soft succulent ink. And then my greeting here is on a piece of crumb cake that I stamped using the jet black stays on ink. And then of course used a lot of the designer series paper and some of those polished dot embellishments. And then the same thing here, I use mostly the designer series paper and use the dies to die cut those images out. And then of course with that mother of pearl designer specialty paper, I die cut that ginkgo leaf image and then just basically threw it all together. Again, the sample for this, all of this here was basically on a treat bag. It was I don't know if I want to call them ombre treat bags. I forget the name of them, but they had done this. They actually added this stuff onto the front of one of the evening evergreen treat bags. So they did have something a little bit different here as far as like they had the ribbon that came with the suite and they used a different die for the greeting. So I just changed it up with what I had. So if you like the projects that I made in this episode of Throwback Thursday, featuring the symbols of Fortune suite of products, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It not only helps in growing the channel, but it also helps me in growing my Stampin' Up! Business. Also, later on today, I will come out with my paper pumpkin video. In my paper pumpkin videos, I create one of each of the projects, and for some reason, I'm drawing a blank on the name of the kit, but it is definitely Valentine themed. So I'm going to create the projects out of that, and the video will post later on today, being Thursday, the January 23rd. Then be sure to come and join me here in the studio at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Friday the 24th. It'll be part one of a two-part Friday night live, and let me show you what we'll be doing. So this is in the new January to April mini catalog, and this is called, just show you what it all is about. So it's the Storybook Moments. This is a mega suite of product. So that basically means there are 2 stamp and die bundles in this. And I will be featuring this Friday. I will be using this bundle here, the Storybook garden patch. You can see there's no greetings in there. There's just these images of some veggies and fruits and watering can and some pots and a basket. And I will use that with all the different other items that are in this suite. So there's this really cool Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper along with the Storybook Moments Specialty Designer Series paper. And then there's some really cool embellishments along with ribbon. So I will be featuring this bundle along with everything else this coming Friday. And then the last Friday on the 31st, I will be featuring the Storybook Friends bundle along with the rest of the products in the suite. And I hope that you'll be able to join us. What I do on my Friday night lives, I do at the very end of the video, I do a wheel of names and I choose 3 people to receive one of the cards that I made in my live. Also, again, this new January to April 2025 mini catalog just went live on January 7th, along with our Sale-A-Bration brochure. Now, the Sale-A-Bration brochure will go until the end of February. If you are here in the United States and if you are not working with another demonstrator and you would like a copy of these catalogs, in the description is my email. When you look under the video, um, it'll have kind of like a little bit of descriptive information on it. And then you'll see like 3 dots in the word more. If you click on more, it'll open up the rest of the description box and you'll see all the info there. So all of the dimensions and the products that I used in the projects I did in this video will be listed there. And then there's a few other links in there as well that will take you to different promotions and stuff that's going on currently with Stampin' Up. Um, and again, like I said, my email is going to be listed in there too if you would like to receive the catalogs. When you send me the email, just let me know which catalogs you would like. So, other than the mini catalog and the Sale-A-Bration, we still have our current annual catalog. So, just let me know which catalogs you would like and include like your full name and your mailing address. And again, only if you're in the United States, and then I will get these mailed out to you. Also, I do have a monthly newsletter that I typically send out on the first Tuesday of each month. In my newsletter, I include information on what my video schedule is going to be for that month. So, everything that I do on Thursdays for the month, I list what bundles or suites that I'll be using, or maybe even just a stamp set that I'll be using in that video. Also, with my Friday Night Lives, what products I'm using for that. I also include any information of things that I am doing, plus what Stampin' Up, what promotions they're currently have going on. Also, every month, Stampin' Up comes out with at least 2 new kit collections in the online store. So I will include like a picture of it and then a description of the stuff that's in it. So again, I typically only do one newsletter a month, but if for any reason within the month, if Stampin' Up lets us know about some special promotion or sale or something that's going on, I'll then send out another newsletter with that information just so you are aware of what's going on. And of course, whenever there's any like specials or sales or any or special promotions or anything like that, I want you to be able to save. So that's the only time I will send out extras. So again, if you like the projects that I made in this video, please give the video a thumbs up. And again, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I hope that I will see you here tomorrow night, Friday, January 24th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where again I will be featuring storybook garden bundle, which is part of that whole storybook moments suite of products. So until then, everybody stay warm, stay safe, and have a blessed one. And I'll see you later. Bye bye.